From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. An Ontario Liberal MP says she was shoved repeatedly by Israeli border officials as a delegation of Canadians was denied entry into the West Bank. Ikra Khalid says the group of about 30 people had received visas to enter the West Bank with the goal of talking to displaced Palestinians. Khalid says one of the delegates was pulled aside for additional questioning, and she asked to be part of that conversation.
And I just was watching. An Israeli officer came up to me and he was yelling at my face and said, go away. And he pushed me. I took a step back into the wall and I said, don't touch me, please. And he said, I'll touch you as much as I want. And he pushed me again.
A statement from the Israeli embassy says the crossing was denied because the group sponsoring the delegation is linked to Islamic Relief Worldwide, a group Israel designated a terrorist entity in 2014. The head of the Bank of Canada says consumers should expect food inflation to ease a bit in the new year. But Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem says that does not mean your groceries will get cheaper.
If you're a family that's already having difficulty putting food on the table, the fact that food price inflation might come down, that's not the same thing as food prices coming down, is probably cold comfort.
Statistics Canada reported grocery inflation hit a nearly 2-year high in November, with rising costs for berries, beef, and coffee. A young mother has been killed by a fallen tree limb in British Columbia's Fraser Valley during this week's severe and unpredictable weather. RCMP say the 27-year-old was killed while walking with her 2 young children in a park in Chilliwack on Monday. Skate Canada says it'll no longer host national and international level events in Alberta because of the province's sports gender law. It restricts transgender athletes from participating in female-only sports. The decision applies only to national and international level events and does not affect Alberta athletes' ability to participate. Canada Post says kids who write to Santa Claus with their wish lists will get a response this year.
When Santa Claus gets your letter.
Canada Post spokesman Phil Legault says more than 1 million letters are delivered to and from Santa each year. Last year, a month-long strike by postal workers meant Old St. Nick would read all letters sent to him but wouldn't be able to respond. But this year, things are different. Canada Post and its union have since reached agreements in principle, so all of Santa's elves will be working. Legault says all letters that were mailed by December 8th and contained the ho-ho-ho postal code will be delivered, and while he can't confirm exact delivery dates, he said Santa will respond to each letter. Karen Rebo, The Canadian Press.
This is The Canadian Press. In sports, Tristan Jarry will be wearing Edmonton colors tonight as the Oilers visit Pittsburgh. Jarry's back in Pittsburgh 4 days after being traded to Edmonton. The Montreal Canadiens will be without defenseman Mike Matheson tonight against the visiting Philadelphia Flyers. He's out day-to-day with an upper body injury. Other NHL action sees Toronto hosting Chicago. Vancouver visits the New York Rangers, and Calgary visits San Jose. PWHL's returning from its international break tonight as the Vancouver Golden Knights host the Ottawa Charge. Calgary Flames defenseman Zane Parekh has been turning heads at Canada's World Juniors training camp. The 19-year-old blue liner says Flames GM Craig Conroy suggested he join the national team to try to get his groove back.
When he asked me if I wanted to go, I immediately said yes, and I think this tournament will be good for my confidence and kind of jumpstart my season.
Parekh had 1 assist in 11 NHL games before an upper body injury last month. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.